So, we're going to talk about something I think a lot of us feel, that little voice that tells you you're fake. But here's the twist. We're going to unpack why that exact feeling, might actually be a very, very good thing, a sign that you're right where you're supposed to be. I mean, really. Have you ever had that nagging worry deep down, the one that whispers you don't belong, that you just got lucky, and any minute now everyone's going to find out you have no idea what you're doing? If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then stick around. You're in the right place.
All right, here's our roadmap. First, we'll dive into something called the high achievers paradox. Then, we'll get into the science of it all with the Dunning-Kruger effect. After that, we're going to introduce a total reframe, calling it growth pains. And of course, we'll cover some practical steps you can take, and finally, learn how to embrace the feeling.
Okay, so first up, the high achievers paradox. This is this really weird, kind of backwards idea that the people who are the most successful, the ones who seem like they have it all together, are often the ones who are secretly terrified of being found out. And this right here, this is the core of it. Think about it. When you're just starting out, a topic seems simple enough, but the deeper you go, the more of an expert you become, the more you realize just how massive the subject is. The landscape just keeps expanding. That overwhelming feeling, it's not a sign you're failing. It's the price of admission for expertise. It's the expert's burden. And this whole paradox is so real and so common that psychology actually has a name for it: the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is the science that really explains what's going on in our heads. So the Dunning-Kruger effect is basically a cognitive bias that cuts both ways. You have people with very little skill who are supremely confident. They just don't know what they don't know. And then you have the true experts who are so aware of all the nuances and complexities that they actually tend to underestimate just how good they are. This chart just nails it. Look over here at the novices. Their perceived skill is way up here, right? But their actual skill is, well, it's way down there. Now look at the experts. It's the complete opposite. Their actual skill is massive, but their perception of it is lower. And you have to ask why. Because they're not comparing themselves to beginners anymore. They're comparing themselves to other masters, to the ideal, to the vastness of their entire field. You feel like a fake because your standard for good is incredibly high. Okay, so we've established this feeling is a totally normal part of getting better at something, which is a relief, but it still feels pretty awful, doesn't it? So what do you do about it? How do you actually fix that feeling when it creeps in?
And this leads us to the biggest idea in this whole explainer. It's not about trying to kill the feeling. It's about completely reframing it. We're going to stop calling it imposter syndrome, and we're going to start calling it what it really is: growth pains. This one little shift changes everything.
Just look at this side by side. Imposter syndrome on the left, that's all about fear, feeling like a fraud, and that voice saying, "I'm not good enough." It just stops you in your tracks. But look at the right, growth pains. The exact same feeling, but reframed as a story of progress. It's about learning. It's proof that you're being challenged. It's the feeling of moving forward.
I really want you to let this one soak in. That anxiety you feel when you take on something new, that self-doubt, it is not evidence that you're incompetent. It is concrete proof that you are stretching, that you are pushing beyond your comfort zone. You're growing. This is what progress literally feels like.
So we've got the new mindset. Now let's get practical. What's the antidote? What can you actually do today to manage this feeling when it shows up? It really boils down to two simple but super powerful habits. First, you've got to learn to separate your feelings from the cold, hard facts. And second, you need a way to track those facts. And that's by keeping something called a wins journal. And what's a win? It doesn't have to be some huge, life-changing thing. A wins journal is your personal database of evidence to use against that feeling of being a fraud. Like this example: completed the Q3 report ahead of schedule after mastering the new software. Your feeling might be, ugh, I'm barely keeping up. But the fact is, you learned something new and you delivered. See? Facts, not feelings. Okay, let's tie this all together. It's time to move from fighting this feeling to actually embracing it. This is all about adopting a completely new perspective on what that self-doubt really means for you. If you remember one thing, let it be this. The next time that wave of "I'm a fraud" washes over you, I want you to see it differently. It's not a stop sign telling you to turn back. It's a landmark. It's a signpost on the map confirming that you are on the right path, the path toward growth. So, when you really think about it, if this feeling is a sign that you're progressing, then the goal isn't to run away from it. The real question becomes, what challenge are you going to take on that's worthy of that feeling? What growth pain are you going to embrace next?